Sponsored by Sinclair Heating and Cooling for 24/7 comfort on call.
Well, hello, Brad. Happy Monday.
Thank you, Chris.
Something you'd like to return?
Well, that's the thing about receipts. You know, you almost think you need one because you want proof that I paid for what I'm walking out the door with. You might want to return something. It's handy to have a receipt then. Maybe you'll need a receipt for a manufacturer's warranty, maybe a rebate.
Sure.
You almost need a receipt. The thing about receipts is there are two types of receipts. There are some that are just printed with ink on the paper. And then there is something called thermal printed receipts. And this is a special type of paper that uses a little hot point that actually, as it touches the paper with the heat, this sort of thing becomes visible, okay?
Okay.
This thermal printing is what we're going to talk about today because many receipts are thermally printed, okay? So here's the headline: high levels of toxic chemicals found in paper receipts used by U.S. retailers. This appeared at The Guardian, and also a press release from the Center for Environmental Health. In their press release, they say they're taking legal action against 32 major retailers after investigations found high levels of bisphenol S, also known as BPS, in receipt paper. All right, let's learn more about this bisphenol S. Okay. Bisphenol is a class of chemicals that are very commonly used in a lot of things, consumer products, a lot of packaging things, including food packaging, fabrics, toys, and cookware. And the problem with bisphenol, and there's a variety of these bisphenols, okay? They've been shown to disrupt the metabolism, growth, and reproduction functions of the body, and that includes some problems with children and developmental issues, okay? So, I mean, it's a nasty thing, okay? But there are two very common ones that we're all in contact with frequently. Bisphenol A, also known as BPA, it was banned in Europe, and even in the U.S., most manufacturers are moving away from it.
We see that all the time, BPA free.
Correct, and so they're telling you, yeah, we've taken this nasty thing out of the product, okay? But there is also this bisphenol B, which is a chemical compound very similar to BPA, very, very similar. And like BPA, it has all of the same adverse health effects. And in fact, maybe it's even more harmful.
Oh, good.
How much more harmful? Well, take a look at this. Touching one receipt for 10 seconds results in exposure to the chemical BPS above the safe limit. How often have you grabbed a receipt and just kept it in your hand?
Depends how long the line is at Costco.
Well, that's just
I don't know if they're using that type of receipt, but that's how long you have a receipt in your
One
hand.
receipt for 10 seconds is no longer safe. That's something to think about in and of itself. Of course, the next thing you're probably wondering, what can I do? Clearly, one choice is decline a printed receipt, but as we mentioned, so often you might want to actually have
sometimes you need to have one.
Correct, correct. They also offer some, and this was really shocking to me, they say if you're a store worker and you have to handle these things, maybe you should wear gloves. And even for all of us, if you're using alcohol-based hand cleaners, which many of us do when we're out and about shopping, that alcohol-based hand cleaner actually significantly increases the absorption of BPS.
Wow, you are full of good news today.
It's something else to think about. Here's something else. Do not recycle those thermoprinted receipts because they contaminate the whole recycling stream and they end up in the environment, okay? So those are all some things to think about with these receipts. I wanted to show you this as well. Here's the full list of the retailers that they have filed this lawsuit against. And we don't have all of these around here, but pick some out. Some of these things we have: Burger King, Famous Footwear, Subway, Foot Locker, GameStop, Staples, Office Depots. There's some big names in there. And this is just the companies that they have identified and they're pursuing. But the thing about it is, again, you might want to think about those receipts, maybe tuck them in the bag as soon as possible. Never touch them again? I don't know.
Wow. Okay, happy Monday, everybody. Thanks, Brad. We'll see you again tomorrow. Still to come.